I'm the fuck out. I didn't even get started on what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Bro, that movie was crazy.
Crazy, Francie. Yeah.
I was like, what are the specials tonight? Yes.
That sounds good.
problem.
I'll have that.
Hey everybody, specialist in nothing, back at you again, talking about everything, specializing in nothing. My name is Frank. As always, Joe and Danny, you guys want to say what's up?
What up? What up?
How you doing?
Capital punishment.
What up, Frank?
What up, Danny?
You go get some capital punishment.
Well, I like, it's funny because I've never heard it been called that before, and I feel like if you say it like that way, nobody knows what it is.
Well, I don't think, most people don't know what anything is, but the truth is, capital punishment, just another word for death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds cooler when you say capital punishment. And it
Yeah, I
sounds
know.
a lot more vicious when you say death penalty.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Is I think death penalty is just more like publicly like a scarier term, whereas like capital punishment just sounds more like as a sophisticated way of putting it.
Yeah. It's like, for you, I sentence you to capital punishment. Yeah. You are sent to the death penalty. Oh my God, no, not the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, I guess so.
So
Crazy.
the definition, how they write it, is so weird. So this is
You gonna
yeah, this is
Wikipedia it up?
right now. It is a state-sanctioned practice of killing a person as a punishment for a crime. That's it.
Oh, that sounds pretty generic.
But it's just funny, like a state-sanctioned practice of killing a person for a punishment for a crime. So it's like when you say practice of killing a person, like I don't know.
How many
I just
times before you get it right, though? I feel you on that. So do we know when capital punishment started?
I don't actually. It's gotta be like a long time ago because I feel like in the old West and stuff, like
They used to
sheriffs
hang
were popping.
motherfuckers.
Oh, that too, yeah. I would say, but even if like sheriffs were popping criminals all the time and just like dragging their bodies away,
Okay,
shit, wanted dead or alive.
1608, Captain George Kendall becomes the first recorded execution in the new colonies.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
in the late 1700s,
over 400
the United
years.
States abolitionist movement begins. It's still early.
Abalalabel. I just- You.
And then throughout the 1800s, 1823 to 37, 34, 38, 47, up until 1890, states progressively became more active with the death penalty.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then I think all the way up to 19. Well, it's actually still going on in some countries.
Yeah, no,
Not-
there's
and states
still
also.
I would say there's some states in the US that you can see that it's still going.
Yeah, still going
That's
strong.
scary. That is some scary-ish to think of, man.
It's been banned in many states because they find it to be what's the word? I don't want to. I could say unconstitutional, but then again, this all happened before the Constitution was created. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll go with unconstitutional.
Is it weird coincidence too that how all the states that allow it are all like in the center of
Right next to each other.
Yeah, they're all like in the center of the US too, mostly.
Well, actually, I have the top 10 states with the most executions since 1976.
Okay.
You want to hear them?
Yeah.
I'll go back.
That's actually interesting.
You want to take a guess? Take a guess at like 5 of them.
Okay, so this
Without
is
looking.
most death penalties. I'm really not looking. All I'm looking
Yeah.
at is on my screen. I have like the map of the United States, and it says which states are actively still giving the death penalty and which
Are they
states
in
are
color
inactive.
or not? Or they say the
Yeah,
state's name?
yeah. It's just color. It's just red or green,
Oh,
and then
okay.
blue
So you don't know
says.
geography anyway, though, right? Because you.
I don't know what moratorium is. I guess that's like in between. I don't know, but there's 3 states that are moratorium, which is California, what is that? Oregon and Pennsylvania. Wow. So I don't know what that means, but active states. Okay, so I'm gonna say Texas has got to be one of the highest ones.
Yeah.
South Carolina, Georgia.
I see you reading.
I'm not reading them. I'm looking at
Oh,
the
you're
map.
guessing where the states are.
Yeah, because I'm looking. So, like I said, I could see all the red states that are active. So probably Florida. See, like if New York was on there, I'd probably say New York or Massachusetts, but they're not on there. So yeah, I'm gonna say if I had to guess like the 5, I'm gonna say Texas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Nevada.
Didn't you live in Nevada?
Yeah. Well, I'm
If
saying it
you
because
lived
Vegas.
in Nevada and you weren't sentenced to capital punishment, I don't think Nevada's gonna happen. You did some wild shit, bro. Come on, man. Don't
I'm
act like
watching.
your youth was just hanging out on the street selling lollipops. We know what the
Was-
fuck you were doing.
Wild teenager.
You're in the wild, wild west, my dude.
Yeah, literally in the desert. No, but
Right. Top
are
10
they really?
states with the most executions since 1976.
you're giving the first, or you're giving the first?
I'm
last?
giving backwards. So
Okay, so
10,
10.
90. So South Carolina and North Carolina, both with 43. Ohio.
Oh, tied for 10. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, 9 and 10.
Oh, okay.
It's just that in alphabetical order, North Carolina comes before South Carolina. So it's 10 and then 9. But Ohio with 56.
Okay.
Alabama with 62, which I would have definitely guessed Alabama. They sleep with their cousins.
Yeah, that's a good
Some
one.
of them do.
Honestly, I didn't think about that. When I saw AL, just didn't pop into my head. But that makes sense.
Georgia with 76. Missouri with 92.
Wow.
Florida with 99. Number 3 is Virginia with 113. Oklahoma with 113. And number 1
Texas.
is Texas.
Yeah.
Since
Texas has to be.
1976, there has been 538 executions.
Wow. I'm not moving to Texas.
I
I don't want to move to Texas after that.
Texas. That's
That's-
crazy.
Crazy. Most executions by a far.
Yeah. By like 400 afar.
That's crazy.
It's nuts, man. It is.
So do you know all the different types?
Without looking, I could say there's hanging, execution, beheading, and firing squad.
That's the one that gets me. The fact that that's one is just like that's
Firing
so
squad?
bad. Yeah, that's
I
so
think
bad.
that they do that when you commit treason or something like that.
That's
you
still
know?
that's crazy, dude. Or like if you're caught, I guess if you're caught in another
Like a
country.
spy or some shit like that.
Mhm.
I
'Cause
did
it
miss
wars
one
and
though.
stuff.
Do you know which one I missed?
So it's hanging, electrocution, the gas chamber, firing squad, and lethal injection.
So the gas chamber is pretty fucked up. And so is they're all fucked up, but I guess it depends on what the crime is and who committed it.
If you had to, like, let's say you're
I
on
knew you
death
were gonna
row
ask me this.
and you got to pick one, which one would you pick?
So I don't know if people on death row get to pick their.
No, but I'm saying if you had the option, like,
I know, but I'm based on what you're asking me. Do they get that option? Do they say
I don't
what
think so.
will you
No, I think it depends on the state
on the
and
crime?
well, on the crime, on the laws of the state, like because some states don't have everything that other states have. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure Texas
Right.
has all of them, but other states just have the gas chamber
Texas
or
is
just
like,
have.
let's just tar and feather them to death.
We're gonna stone them.
No, dude,
No,
I'm gonna stone you, man.
but like, and it also depends on the jail because some jails might not have like a gas chamber or an electrocution chair or whatever, so they
Yeah.
might do lethal injection or you know what I mean. But some might not, whatever.
All
So
right,
I
so-
do think that depends. But if you could have the option,
If I could have the option, first of all, I'm nervous to get hung because what if it doesn't work the first time? You know, like when you.
I'm
when
heavy
they-
enough, it's working.
Yeah.
Like 240 pounds, bro. It's working.
So when they pull the lever and the bottom falls out beneath you, you're supposed to drop and the
Yeah.
rope is supposed to snap your neck. And that's how you die. It's not about cutting off circulation to your neck. I have this fear. Maybe it won't snap my neck and I'll just be sitting there like,
I'm fighting for air.
Fucking, yeah, I don't want that. I mean,
I
I'm
hear you.
gonna die eventually. I get it, but it's those last few moments of suffering.
Yeah.
Now, before I get into what I would choose, I'm gonna say this, and this is a typical me thing, but I do think that life is such an adventure that the only thing left is death. And you could be base jumping, you could be jumping out of airplanes, climbing fucking volcanoes, all this dangerous shit, get scars on your body, and you go to your grave with stories to tell. But death is our last adventure. And as crazy as it sounds, I kind of want to feel it because that's going to be the last thing that I ever feel.
Okay.
So I would say either lethal injection or probably electrocution.
Okay.
But I read somewhere that sometimes your eyeballs, all right, so when electricity goes throughout your body, like in the electric chair, your
Don't you
whole
poop
body
yourself
swells up. Yes, your whole body swells up. You will shit yourself, you will piss yourself, but your eyeballs will also swell up and could pop out of your skull.
Yes, I don't want that.
That's crazy.
I don't want that because your family ain't gonna be able to have no like open casket for you.
Yeah, but
I feel like
who's gonna be like, yo, we're going to Frank's funeral, and then they're like, oh, how did he die? He was on death row and he got the electric chair. Why don't you come up to the casket and check it out? No one's gonna be like, oh man, what a shame. They're like, yo, this motherfucker did some bad shit and now he gets what he deserves. Type of thing.
I hear you. No, but if it was me, I think I'd have to go with a
Would you?
lethal injection.
Yeah, lethal injection.
Yeah, because I feel like that's like the most exactly like
It's
you
the
said,
most-
least suffering, like
yeah.
way to go. Like gas chamber, what are you gonna be gasping for air? A firing squad. I mean, I'm just gonna pray
But
that
if
somebody
they
hits me
just-
in the head first.
Yeah, I'm like,
You know what I
what do they
mean?
do everywhere else?
That's
except
what I'm
your
saying.
vital
So, like,
organs. Your
And the
stomach's
hanging,
like-
I have the same fear as you. Like, not to say, like I said, that it wouldn't work for me, but like I just whether my neck would snap or not or whatever, like I just feel like that's just such
You
a
don't want to be
painful,
hanging there.
suffering way to go out that I
Yeah.
just wouldn't want to do that. And then electrocution. Fuck that, I don't want to shit myself as my last moments. That's only remembered. He was on the chair, shit himself when he got electrocuted. Fuck that.
So, you ever see the movie The Green Mile?
Yes, great fucking movie.
Okay. That one actually stuck out in my mind. Definitely one of the movies that made me, I'll tell you that. Bullshit. But when they put the guy, when Percy
Mhm.
goes to electrocute the guy with the mouse, and they had like beef back and forth, whatever, and he doesn't
So
soak
sad.
the sponge
I
to
know.
put it on his head, and he burnt. That's a back then. I mean, I don't know if there's probably more advanced ways of doing electrocution
Yeah,
now.
but back then when they had to do that, that would
you
be really
had to
fucked
do
up.
that so the electricity flew through, flows throughout your body.
Mhm.
And in the movie, when he didn't do it, you just see him burning up. He's still alive through it. It's so fucking painful. I'm assuming, and I'm
No,
sure it
that was a-
smells. You
Yeah,
know,
that was a real terrible scene.
it was a
Like
fuck
totally
up on that
fucked
guy.
up. Hell yeah, that guy was fucked
So
up.
that scene stuck out on me. And I guess whenever I think of death penalty or the electrocution chair, that's what I think of. And I feel so bad for the guy who they killed, but they really shouldn't have killed him.
Alright. So do you know
Awful,
you know
man.
why
Awful.
most states actually got rid of the death penalty?
Do I know why?
Yeah. Or
Um,
I guess this is more of an opinion thing, but I am looking this up. So it says there's no credible evidence that the death penalty deters more of crime from happening. Is no credible
let's
evidence.
take a second to breathe and gather our thoughts.
There's no credible evidence that the death penalty deters crime more effectively than long terms of imprisonment. So
Okay.
like meaning that like if you just got life instead of getting the death penalty, like people are more scared of getting life than being sentenced to death.
So the death penalty is essentially used as a threat to other criminals
But that's
who
what
are
they're
still
saying is
out there
it's not
doing
as
shit,
effective.
kind of.
Yeah, but they're saying
Okay.
that to sentence the death penalty to someone is not as threatening as giving them life in prison.
I see what you're saying.
So I guess more people would rather get the death penalty and have an easier way out than to suffer in prison for life.
I can
But-
see that.
If we're talking about like economically now, I mean,
that's our taxes keeping them alive.
Well, I was gonna
feeding
say
them,
you're
keeping them
paying
healthy.
for a
Yeah.
lot more stuff now. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
That's some shit. So I read this one too. Juvenile executions. The use of the death penalty for crimes committed by people younger than 18 is prohibited under international human rights law. Yet some countries still sentence death and execute juvenile defendants. So that, when I read that, it was kind of like, all right, so it's prohibited under international human rights law. But other
It still
countries
happens.
like, nah, fuck human rights law. We got this. We'll figure out our own shit. You know? And then what's fucking still going on in 2020, the most known executions took place in China, Iran,
I believe that.
Egypt, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia in that order.
I believe that. I believe China,
In-
Saudi Arabia, and Iraq. That's crazy.
And-
yo.
Like it's different to be. So I don't know why this just popped into my head, but I see this vision of, I think it was in Vietnam when they just lined up a bunch of people and just started executing them. That's war. That's different than the death penalty, but it's crazy how you can just take someone's life in your hands, fire a gun, shoot them, kill them dead, and it's like you're a judge and jury. Whereas if you do a crime, you get sentenced, you get tried, and then you do your sentence. Would you say it takes like a decade or something like that before you like to be on death row? Do you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I said that before. But yeah, it does. It is. It's usually about more than a decade being on death row. Some prisoners have been well over 20 years, like before they've actually had their death row experience.
That's crazy. So you know you're gonna die in 20 years. They're like, you know, you have the death penalty. You're on death row.
Oh. I wonder what the most asked for final meal is.
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like, I wonder, is
Yeah.
it like steak and lobster? Is that like the most asked for, like final meal on death row? Because it's like the most expensive, like nicest thing? Or is it like peanut butter and jelly? Like, I don't know.
Okay. So most popular meal revealed. Let's hear it.
For death row?
Death row. Fried chicken. How fucking ironic is that? Fried chicken is
That's
the
so
most,
racist. Oh my god, that's so racist.
That's crazy.
And I don't mean to laugh, but
No.
that is because of like think about what a lot of people are complaining about like these days, or a lot of people are trying to make actively known out there, and like, you know, Black Lives Matter and how cops have been towards black people over decades of the past years and all this stuff. And then you look at the fucking final meal most requested on death row and it's fried chicken. Like, come on. That's man, it's crazy. That's crazy. I'm really, if somebody got offended that I laughed, I'm sorry, but I just found the humor in that right away. Like, that's
Coincidence.
crazy. Yeah.
What would your last meal be?
It'd have to be my favorite meal. So chicken cutlet, mashed potatoes with either like corn or I guess chicken cutlet, mashed potatoes and corn. Yeah, like I like.
Oh, okay. So when you shit your brains out, you're gonna just get corn everywhere.
No, but like if you had to ask me like my favorite meal for dinner or whatever, it's normally chicken cutlets and mashed potatoes. I love chicken cutlets and mashed potatoes.
Last meal.
So that's what I'm saying. If it was gonna be my
It would be
last
chicken
meal on earth, it'd
cutlets.
probably be my favorite meal, which is chicken cutlet mashed potatoes. And my chicken cutlet's gotta have ketchup.
Frank. What are you, fucking 6? My chicken cutlet's got. Mom, where's the ketchup? Are you kidding me right now? You want to make some fancy sauce while we're at it? Throw some mayo.
Hell
in there?
yeah, hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Or if I'm feeling froggy that week, I get some Chick-fil-A sauce to stop at
All
supermarket
right, listen.
because they
You
sell
throw
that now.
Chick-fil-A sauce on there. I'm joining you in your last meal. But if you
Bro,
tell me
no.
ketchup,
No joke. Last time I was frying chicken cutlets, we had Chick-fil-A sauce in the fridge, and I literally just ate it on a chicken cutlet by itself, and it's the best thing ever
okay.
in the
So
world.
wait, let me back up a second, because when you said chicken cutlet, because you didn't say chicken parm, which I'm a little offended by, but because you didn't say chicken parm, I automatically thought of grilled chicken, even though I know that chicken cutlet is fried.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna rephrase that and not make fun of you as much for the ketchup, because when I was younger, I used to eat cold chicken cutlets with ketchup.
Oh
But if
yeah, I
it's
do
a
that all the time.
warm chicken cutlet, I want ketchup. I
Hot,
want something
cold, either
like
way.
Salt, not salt.
If
Sauce.
if I'm having chicken cutlets, like whatever, like I just don't eat them plain. But if I'm not having it like exactly like with pasta, like sauce, and I'm making them just as like cutlets with like mac and cheese or mashed potatoes or something like
All
that,
right.
it's either ketchup or applesauce.
Applesauce is what's up. I
I
eat that
love
on my
dipping
pork
chicken
chops.
cutlets in applesauce.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, same thing. Like pork chops when you bread a pork chop and like that.
Yeah.
Oh, pork chops and
Applesauce goes so well
applesauce.
with it. Damn.
So what would your last meal be?
Yes. So again, I fucking love chicken parm and penne vodka. So I would think that would be my last meal. But I would probably stick with that. I mean, or I'd be like, I want some gourmet shit from France.
Well, that's what I'm
you
saying, like-
motherfuckers gotta like fly in.
Well, that's what I'm
have
saying.
Chef
Like, do
Gordon
you
Ramsay
get like
prepare it for me. I don't
exactly?
know.
It's the
It's probably
decision of do
prison
you get
though.
like steak and lobster or like you know what I mean or like because I believe for your last meal they really do get you anything. Like I really
think
do.
so.
I
think
really
it-
do think it's like I mean within reason, of course. I don't think you could have something flown in from like a specific bakery in France, but like I
mean,
do
that's
think
the
that-
case, I'd be
I
like,
do
yo,
think-
I got 20 years from now, I'm gonna get the death penalty. You have 20 years to figure out how you're gonna get this delicious blueberry muffin from France.
well, my crumpets, damn it. No, but
My croissant.
but no,
Hurry, the
Yeah.
baguettes. Hurry up.
I don't think I would. I would go with that. Like just because, like, oh, my last. No, I'd rather have my last meal be something that I'm
Your
really gonna
favorite.
enjoy, like my own little
See,
taste of home.
That's where I'm torn, because it's like, do you have your favorite meal one more time, or do you do something like, yeah, steak and lobster, just fuck you, you know?
I think yeah, it depends on the person.
I would probably go with my favorite meal, because what if I get the steak and lobster, it's not cooked the way I want it, you know? I'll be like, yo, fuck this. I want to recap. I want to redo.
Right?
Like, nah,
Send it
You
back.
dying in 28 minutes. You gotta hurry the fuck up.
That's funny.
That's a good question. I'm gonna start walking up to people. Hey, random question.
Wait, how about this one?
What
Just
would your
because.
last meal be? It's a good conversation starter. For all
That
you
is
introverts
actually-
out there, that's a good one.
So I just saw this too. It says in the U.S., being hanged is only in 2 states still. It's in
Really?
Washington and New Hampshire.
Well, New Hampshire. Oh no, I'm thinking of Massachusetts.
The electric chair is used in Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So it's weird. Texas has the most, but they don't do all of the methods. All they do is they're just lethally injecting people left and right down there.
You know what else is crazy? All right, so yeah, Delaware, New Hampshire, Washington are states you can still get hung in. But do you know that they still have 4 states with a firing squad?
That's crazy. So yeah, that's
Mississippi. L-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P. Boom, 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 you're dead. Then there's Oklahoma, Utah, and South Carolina. South
That's
Carolina
crazy.
gives no fucks, bro. They're straight lawless out there, I feel like.
that's crazy.
You know? So you said, okay. There is, what do you think the main death penalty is?
The what?
The main death penalty, like the most commonly used.
Lethal injection. Has to be.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my god. I got Ted Bundy's last meal here.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Don't say it was okay. Well, I was gonna say it's got to what, an arm, a leg, or a breast.
Steak done medium rare, eggs over easy, toast with butter and jelly, milk, coffee, juice, and hash browns. And he did not have a single bite of it. He
Wow.
ordered all that
That's-
stuff.
That's a little. Bro, I'm not gonna
Oh
lie,
wait.
fucking
Oh no,
shit.
it says for his last meal, he refused to make a special request. So he was given the standard last meal on Florida's death row. He didn't have a single bite.
That's standard meal on death row in Florida.
That's the standard meal
That's
that
a
they give you.
wonderful breakfast here in New York.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Mm-mm.
So, who gets the death penalty? Here's one for you. Capital punishment is a legal penalty under the criminal justice system of the United States federal government. It can be imposed for treason, espionage, murder, long-scale drug trafficking, or attempted murder of the witness, juror, or court officer in certain cases. That's who qualifies for the death penalty. You know,
Oh, wait.
like, think
For attempted murder of a court officer or a juror or a witness.
No. Attempted murder of a witness, juror.
I'm
Oh
a
yeah, or
juror.
court officer. You said it.
That's what I'm saying. So like, just anyone in any trial, just to attempt to kill them, you're automatically going on death penalty. Not
Yeah.
even to succeed, just to attempt.
Yes, so.
That's wow. That's really serious.
So let's flip it now. That is pretty serious. You're not fully committing the crime.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to commit the crime. You're just attempting to commit the crime. Well, because the attempted murder is still a crime. I get it. But like I'm saying, like, you don't have to succeed. Just the fact that you're attempting to do it, automatically death row. That's cool.
No, yeah.
What is, I know what it is, but I just haven't heard this word in a long time. What is treason exactly?
Treason, if I'm not mistaken, is like when you go against your own country.
So like where you're giving up something from the United States or harming the United States in some way?
Look it up because I'm pretty confident in it, but I don't know exactly what it is. All right, so treason is the offense of attempting acts to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance or to kill.
Okay.
or
So
personally
basically like
injure.
the whole fire sale type of thing. like
Betrayal
we
of
talked
trust
about.
on your country. Yeah,
Yeah, so like anything to betray the country or like to harm the country.
right.
I got you.
Interesting.
Large scale.
Actually, you know
drug
what? I've heard of espionage my whole life, and I was like, oh yeah, I know espionage. I don't fucking know what it is.
I don't know what that means at all. I wasn't even touching that because I didn't want to sound stupid. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, okay. You know what? So it is what I kind of thought it was, but not fully. The practice of spying or using spies, typically by governments, to obtain political and military information. So then why the fuck doesn't the government agents get hung and shit like that? You know, like the government could go and here it is. The practice of spying or using spies, typically by governments. So then if that's the case, who gets the death penalty?
Yeah, that's weird.
You know? So like it's happening throughout the world. Each country has its own spies in other countries. But like if you get caught, it's punishable by death. But that's fucking weird. Who do you think?
By governments to obtain. Oh, so it's not for just using spies, but it's for using them to obtain political and military information.
Yeah.
So it's for you. Okay, because that's why. Because military is classified stuff.
Right.
So like if America tried to use a spy to get something on Russia's military, for instance, let's say, that's what espionage would be. We're only supposed to use spies for whatever other normal crimes that we're hunting down and stuff like that, not something about someone else's army or military.
So based on what we just discussed about who gets the death penalty, murder, treason, espionage, large scale drug trafficking, attempted murder, who do you think should get the death penalty?
Rapists.
I think rapists
child.
should be child. Okay, so that's where I was going to go with this. I think rapists should be.
Actually, I don't think they should get the death penalty though. I'm not gonna lie. I think they should have to have a severe physical punishment without having to die.
Castration.
That would do.
Cutting your balls off.
That would do. But
I
like
think.
rape also goes for the other side. Like you don't only have to be a man to rape someone. So how are you gonna castrate a woman? So like, but I think there should be some
They
form
have
of.
illegal castrations in like certain places in Africa.
Oh, you just made me
Cut
cringe.
off
The term illegal castration is just, I don't know, the term.
Well, I mean,
the way
I'm
you
pretty
said it.
sure all castration might be illegal. I'm not 100% on that. You know, I'm not a
don't know.
specialist of castration, but I'm telling you.
Specialist of nothing.
I would say child molesters or pedophiles, 100%,
Yeah,
should get the death penalty. But
I agree.
they should also, and this may be a little fucked up, but they're fucking child molesters. So I think they should be tortured instead of just electrocution. You know, regardless. And this is all right. So we're gonna go a little off topic for a second, but
Yeah, like I
when-
believe in like stoning someone like that.
you know,
I would love to see someone like that be put up publicly in town and fuck. Like if someone was a pedophile or a rapist or something like that, or
Stuff.
whatever, fucking yeah, put them up, chain them up on something in the middle of fucking town with a fucking 100 rocks and bricks around, and let everybody come up and take a shot. I truly don't think that that's
yeah, but how many-
inhumane or too vicious or whatever. Like,
So let's say there's like 200 people around, and it's like back in the day, right? And there's a guy standing up on the platform, and everyone's going to throw stones at him. What if everybody gets one stone and one at a time, and you're the dickhead who goes up there and fucking misses?
I
Then
miss.
you're like, oh fuck, man, I missed my shot. I had one shot.
Honestly, I'd miss, and then I'd look at him and be like, "You lucky motherfucker."
I used to play. I was on. What is it? I don't know. If this is baseball.
I was shortstop, man.
So-
Lucky I missed.
Before when you said child molesters, it brought up into my mind there's a lot of cases with like school teachers diddling little boys and girls and stuff, and it's fucking traumatic for these kids. I'm very well aware of it.
But at the
This
same
might
time, there's
sound-
one school teacher that you think of that you're like, she could have done it to me though.
But on one side, yeah, this may be a little controversial, but I can understand if an adult male is diddling little boys and girls. Yes, child molester, not welcomed, and it's sexist maybe to say that if it was the other way around, and it's an adult female diddling little boys specifically, but also little girls. I don't want to say most because I don't know. It's never been done to me. But I would assume most people are like, oh well, it's a girl teacher doing it to a little boy. It's okay.
No,
But it's
see,
not.
like
It's not okay.
well, I was just gonna say I agree with you to where some people would be like that. The reason to me that it's not is because either way, it's a child that
Right.
is influenced by an adult. So like even if it is like, and this is me all jokes aside now from the teacher thing and like whatever, but if it is a woman teacher and a younger boy or like whatever, that is still an influence
Yeah.
in their mind, something that
child
you're
doesn't know any better.
exactly, and something that you're changing in them mentally, not for the better, and it's going to have a long-term effect, you know, like, so either way it's not good. It's not
mean-
it's not good either way. And aside from the fact that it makes kids grow up to think that certain things are okay that are not, and just, you know, like it's just a whole fucked up way to be. So I don't, kids are already confused enough in 2022 about if they're a fucking boy or girl alone, let alone you
Yeah.
want to throw sexuality and stuff into the mix. Like, dude, it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
Now, that being said, if I were in high school and that happened to me, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't go to the cops. I would go to the house with flowers and a thank you card. But at the same time, that's just me in high school. And I think if it happened at that point in my life, for anybody who unfortunately has had that happen to them, I'm very sorry for that. And making a joke is not suitable. But it's just, it's a fucked up thing. And you're right. You know, but then there are people like they do SNL skits where like the guy gets fondled by the hot teacher and they're like, yeah, you did, good job, you know. It's not
The
right
whole
to
Adam
be-
Sandler movie was based on it. The good
Where's my
what
boy?
he's-
That's my boy.
yeah,
Yes,
where's-
that's
yes,
right. That's right.
that's my
that's right.
boy. The whole movie was based on it. And then they see her at the end. It's the actress from Stepmom. What's her name?
Yeah.
I
Fucking-
forget her name, but I'm not gonna lie. In the
Brandon.
Adam Sandler movie, and who's my boy? That's my boy. She was really hot when she was in jail at the end there. Oh my god, I was like, wow. But yeah, that
But
whole
that's just
movie
'cause
was literally
men-
based on that because
When
exactly.
we're adults, we want more sex, and we're like, yeah, we want someone to, you know, do things to us. But as a child, that's fucked up, and especially
well-
like you said before, it'll cause them trauma, and they'll be confused for the rest of their life.
Well, so are you watching Euphoria?
I've seen episodes here and there, but I haven't seen it.
So we're kind of started to watch that now, and I haven't finished the whole first season, just like a few episodes in, but that has a lot to do with that too, like the influence of kids in high school and nowadays and all the things that's going on and all that stuff. Like it's just a lot more than you really think it is.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
And it affects everybody differently. That's why, to bring it back around full circle, I do think that child molesters, especially pedophiles, do deserve the death penalty.
100%.
You know, I think that's the thing.
I
And
think
like
more
you
so
said,
than
rapists
some of these
also-
other things that we
Yeah,
have the death penalty
absolutely.
for. Like large scale drug trafficking, send him for life. He doesn't need to be fucking death
Yeah,
penalty.
you're gonna kill this guy? No, leave him in there, let him rot. That's fine.
Mhm.
But like, but this is the thing. Let's say you get a rapist or a child molester. Would you rather them just rot their life away in jail, or do you just want
No.
to end it for them quick?
The reason I think that they deserve to get the death penalty and theirs life should be done. Some people would say, oh, it's the easy way out, and it's not. Some people can change. Would you want to leave the risk of, like, if you're a victim of something, would you want to leave the risk of that your offender was going to
Could
change or
be
not? Like,
someone
you know what I
else.
mean?
Right.
So exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, so people could change and they could be reformed, and like that's not okay. Great. A rapist or a pedophile, that's not someone that I really want to reform. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's not someone that to me deserves to be the chance to be reformed. So
I agree.
to me, like, yeah, as soon as you cross that line, you don't deserve to have the second chance. You don't deserve to be reformed anymore. Like, and if I have the opportunity to say that you are and you really aren't, and now you're back out and can do it again, no, I think you just deserve the death penalty. So we don't have to
Right.
worry about that ever being a thing.
We're gonna nip this one in the butt.
You know?
Yeah,
Fuck it.
no, I agree. I agree. But what if it was like, what if it was life life in prison? And with no probation, no bail, nothing like that. So you have
Kill him.
life sentence, still kill him?
Kill him. Why? He should get to enjoy fucking Taco Tuesdays even in jail? No, fuck him.
Damn, you're right. Taco Tuesdays in jail. That's your thing.
Well, I'm just
Even with Joe not here, I'm
I didn't
still
even
bringing
know-
it up.
bro, I didn't even like put that one in there on purpose, but like you get my point, but that's funny. Oh, but like for real though, like he could still have, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, Bubba made toilet phone wine this Friday. There's something he has to look forward to.
Toilet
That, you know what I mean? Like, I
He
don't want
treats
him
me
to ever
good.
have anything to look forward to in the future. So no,
I
he
get
should,
you. I
because
get
even though you're in prison, you could still have things that
There
you
are
look
some
forward
perks.
to. Yeah, you know what I
you.
mean?
You come out Jack Diesel and a rapper, and you'd be like, "Yo, what's up?"
Mhm.
I feel you. Now, here's a question, and this is something. What I think, not that it would be cool because whatever, but I think that if you are a family member of a victim of something such as rape or murder, whatever the case is, and that person gets the death penalty, I think it should be up to the family to decide how they go, or up to the family member. Like, let's say, I'm not even going to bring this anywhere close to home. Let's say there's a daughter somewhere in the Midwest and a father somewhere in the Midwest, and the daughter gets raped and murdered by somebody. That father should be the one to execute the person who did that.
Or choose whatever happens to them or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if it's
I
an
mean,
execution chair,
I don't
want to
necessarily
be the
agree
one
with
to pull
that.
the fucking plug. I want to be
But-
the one to fire the gun.
Because you would
But
be the
then
one
that's
to make
murder
that
yourself.
decision.
You're
No,
right.
but I was saying, but then because you would get to be the one to make that decision to do that. But what about the people that are softer and that are just like, no, I'm sure that they'd be sorry eventually, or someone that'll be like, oh, God's gonna
It's
take
true.
care of you, like blah 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 blah. Not everybody's gonna make the decision that you would make, so I don't think that necessarily should be on. That's why we have jurors and stuff like that,
Yeah, I
because
guess so.
then that's how you let someone else back out on the streets again, like all you have to do is convince that one person that, oh, all I have to do is convince this dad that I'm so sorry that this happened with his daughter, and like, blah, blah, blah. Well, sometimes they like, and don't get me wrong, again, because we would not feel that way, someone else might forgive or feel differently or be,
This is true. They might have a different outlook on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you one thing for damn sure, and I'm sure you feel this way as well. Maybe about your daughters.
I fucking kill
But-
somebody.
I would welcome the
Fucking
death penalty if anybody ever fucking touches my sister. I swear to God. I will rip their throat out of their fucking neck and shit down their body. And then I was like, yeah, I did it. What are you gonna do? Fuck it. That's it. You know?
I feel you.
Bro, I guess.
I mean, for me, so I get what you mean on that because I have the same relationship with my sister. My sister's married now, so that's her husband's responsibility now. Now, to that extent, if something ever did happen, best believe I'd still be there to help him with whatever. But that's like my sister. I mean, her husband is like really that now. For me, yeah, it would be like Karen and the kids. If anybody really ever physically anything to Karen or my kids, I would welcomely do whatever I wanted and then put my hands out and be like, yep, I did it. Take me. Like,
yeah, dude, at that point, there's no explanation. I saw red. This guy was, I can't even, just the thought of my.
I have no problem with like let's say perfect example. Ready? We were or Karen was in a traffic thing with some lady like a couple months ago or whatever. Like I forgot what happened, but they started yelling at each other, and like Karen had the girls, and the lady said something to her, and she said something back to the lady, and like they were just yelling at each other. Let's say that escalated, right? And I found out, or I was there, and like this lady and her husband came out or something, and like something to where Karen got hurt, or one of my kids got hurt, or something happened, somebody got hit by a car, whatever. I would have no problem killing someone with my bare hands. I'm not joking. Like I would have no problem squeezing someone's throat with my bare hands in a situation like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, I think about it all the time. And I'm like, yeah.
That's not healthy.
No. I don't.
Like, dude, I think about it all the time. Well, I'm not saying all the time.
No,
I've thought about it, but not that much.
Okay. Let me retract my statement. When it crosses my mind occasionally, and I think of somebody harming my sister or doing something terrible to my sister, I get so choked up about it, bro, that like I could be in my room chilling, but I'll think about it and I'll get frustrated. My body will start to tingle. I'll shake.
You're like that person that wakes up from a dream and you're upset from the dream, aren't you?
Not all the time. but
like Karen will wake up and be like,
my other
you cheated.
God forbid anything. Yeah, you cheated a bit.
You had a girlfriend in Texas, and I'm like, what? Yeah, my dream. But you could see that it bothered her a little bit. I could tell you're the same way too. Like that. That's not
when
good,
it comes
man.
To my sister, bro.
What I'm saying, you're making that up in your head.
I know.
Literally,
but I'm
you're just saying, I can sit there and think of a situation. How is that preparing yourself? So you're saying you literally sit there and daydream sometimes, and you're like,
no,
oh my God, this can happen to someone, and then you get choked up about it, like it actually happened.
Nah, that's not what happens. Let me explain to you. If I'm watching something or something happens on television, like you saw the movie The Shack, right?
Yeah, that was.
God forbid something like that happens to my daughter. Well, I'm gonna put my sister in that. God forbid something like that happens to them. I will fucking go state to state on a spree and find out what happened. And then when it happens and I get to that person and I find them, it's just.
So what you just said reminded me of one of my favorite Eminem like interview clips or whatever. And it's funny because so they asked him about his father and like if he would ever actually go meet his dad, which his dad actually just recently died in like 2018, I want to say it was. Yeah. But so they asked him like, would you ever want to go really meet your father? And he said, he's like, no, because he's like, I could have no money and no resources, but if one of my girls went missing, I would go to the end of the earth and find them and know that I would do it. And I feel the same way. Like I literally feel like if God forbid anything happened, like there's nothing that I would not do or stop doing or stop trying. I think the rest of my life would be dedicated to finding them until I found them. I don't think that there's like a 20-year mark or a 30-year mark or anything that like you just would stop. I don't. I think that my life would be done and over mentally until I found them. Yeah, just because.
So, all right, we're veering off that a little bit, but I get where we're going with this because now Liam Neeson in Taken has a special set of skills that not a lot of people have. So when this unfortunately does happen in the trafficking, we discuss. How is someone supposed to go and find their daughter if they're going on a flight to Europe and they get off and they're like, "Dad, I get kidnapped." That's the last thing you hear. Liam Neeson knows people. He's got connections. He's got a special set of skills. He can go and found this thing, does whatever, he's trained. But like you and me, bro, first of all, flight to Europe is like $800. And once you get there, where do you start? You know,
No, I hear you.
it's like, bro, there's how many people live in New York? How many people live in Staten Island that you've
No,
never
I
even
hear
met
you.
before in your life? You know, I got a guy that lives 3 doors down from me. I met him for the first time last week because he was getting his mail. I've lived here for 28 years, dude.
No, I hear you. How about, you know what? That just reminded me too. Like, you ever see the thing that it says, we're living in the Matrix? Have you ever seen one of your neighbors bring in groceries? Never.
That's what it is. But then you think about it.
Have you ever seen one of your neighbors bring in groceries? Think about it.
I have.
Okay.
But because if you look at my window, you have a plethora of homes facing me. So there's going to be a chance that between these 10 houses that are in my vision, not even peripheral view, just my regular vision, I see a lot of shit that goes on. You know, I know who's Airbnb in their house. I know who's got
Ah,
I know who's got a boyfriend, but sees a side dude. You know,
see, it's
like-
funny. So for me, I have right across the street is a cemetery. So all the houses are on my side, so I can't see any of the houses on my side. So it's not the same for me. But that's funny.
That's some shit. So
Everybody just heard that and you're like, he lives across the street from a cemetery? What?
this motherfucker.
Like, that's so weird. Oh. So all in all, though, you're all for death penalty for the most part. It just depends on the person, the crime. There are some states, like I said, or some places that just totally forbid it.
There are. I would say, I mean, based on what you said before, where the death penalty doesn't necessarily fear these criminals from doing it again, opposed to like a life sentence. All right, so then here's a good question, because it's difficult. I am like 49, 51% in favor of the death penalty. But at the same time, who is the one to actually kill that person? And now is that death on their conscience? Let's just say for religious reasons that, you know, thou shalt not kill.
Oh.
You know, there's going to be an executioner, whether you push a button for lethal injection. or
Honestly,
whether
I
you
think that
flip
would
a
just have to
switch
be a
for-
job to apply for, like in the prison. Like an
guess so.
executioner position would have to be the position to apply for. You know what I mean? But to go off of what you just said, like, because yeah, like for me, I think that it should be something like be there, but I
Yeah.
think that it needs to be altered in the sense of for what it's for. Because, like I said, a drug trafficker, somebody like that should rot. Okay, you should be like, think about what you did and go in your corner, like, but you should still have little small things that you still appreciate in life, and like you get your toilet wine Wednesday and whatever it is. I mean, Taco Tuesday, and those little perks are great for you, but you're locked up because you did something that was so bad. But for a rapist or a pedophile or something like that, like, no, you don't deserve to have even those little things.
No,
anymore.
that I
You deserve to have your life taken from you. So I think it depends on the crime, but I do think that where we're at right now with the death penalty needs to be altered for those things. Like if I was in charge, that'd be probably one of the first things I'd change.
What would you change?
Like the rules of the death penalty to like what I just said.
It's some wild shit.
I get why they have to have treason on there. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you betray the country. I mean, I get that. So like, I get that having that on there, but like the drug trafficking to me is not as bad as a pedophile or a rapist.
No, I agree with that. Because that doesn't
even
just
murderer,
hit
I
the
get
victim.
having murderer on there. Exactly.
You know, that branches out. And now the family, unfortunately, has to live with their child, their daughter, their niece, their nephew getting molested, raped, murdered. You know, and it's fucked up. Enough bad shit happens on accident in this world. We don't need to
And
have more people running around doing shit on purpose.
to be honest, most drug dealers or drug traffickers or any of the ones that I've known personally are actually really cool, humble people just trying to fucking make money. To be honest with you, like,
You're really sweet.
I'm not joking though. Like, and
Nah, I
don't get
feel
me
you
wrong.
though.
Like, I'm
'cause
not
it's
trying
like,
to
yo,
say like,
normally I do a gram for 180, but for you, I'll do 160. And then
no, that's not what I mean though. Like,
gram too, by the way.
a lot of people like that. Like, perfect example again. Look at the kid. So, did you hear about the kid that's in Euphoria that used to be a server?
Used to be a server, like a waiter.
So this kid that's in Euphoria, the one that's like her dealer or whatever, that's like her friend that's the dealer, he
Okay.
was a server in some restaurant, and like some lady said like on like some TikTok or something like that online, and went viral, and was like, oh my god, he was my server, and like put the video up of him in the restaurant working.
Wait, I'm confused. This server slash waiter in the restaurant is real life. That's what he was doing before he got his job as Euphoria? Or he
Yes,
was
exactly.
a server in
No.
Euphoria?
No,
And-
he's a server in real life, and he was
Okay.
playing the role of the drug dealer on Euphoria. But
Gotcha.
because this was the first role that he ever had, so he still has a real job. So some lady like saw him and was like, "Oh my god, my
That's my
server
waiter."
is the guy from Euphoria." Exactly. So I forgot where I was going with that now. Fuck, because you made me fucking explain that for so long.
I made you explain it when I asked, was it a real thing or is it just something that... All right, so Euphoria, drug dealers, nice guys.
Oh,
know?
that's what we were
Oh,
saying.
that's
But
the
like,
ticket right there.
so
Yeah,
even like his character is a perfect example of like a lot of people that are in that life know that it's dangerous, might still carry a gun or whatever, because when they're around certain dangerous people to make sure they're protected, but on the regular are still a nice humble person that they just know that that is a very lucrative business, and they're just trying to be effective at it. You know what I mean?
So you don't think that? Well, now I'm pretty sure the death penalty has to do with like Pablo Escobar and not fucking George from Dungan Hills. So
Was Pablo Escobar execution? Oh, he
no,
was shot in like
he
was
chased. He was on-
yeah, I was gonna say he was shot when they were trying to catch him. He wasn't going back. Do you know I saw a thing that said, so it was like the richest like drug dealers or whatever, and Pablo Escobar was number one at 30 billion, and number two was at like 12 or 15 billion. So like he was like double second places. Like he was
He was
severe
first
king.
and second.
No. He was just first, but he was so far over second place. Like second place was like 15 billion, and he was like 30 billion. Like
Oh,
he
wow.
doubled second place. And I was just like, damn, like that's so much money. But then like you watch
That's crazy.
documentaries and stuff on Netflix, and he was like burying money, like
Yeah.
pallets of money in his yards, like not even in crates or anything, just like cash wrapped in plastic, buried in fucking dirt. Like what? He had so many houses that were just walls were filled with cash. Like
Yeah, dude. It was
that's insane. Yo, we need another place to put this new pallet of money. Buy another house just to open the walls, get the construction crew there, rip out all the drywall, stuff it with money, and put it back.
So
What?
that reminds me of, it's a stupid comment. Actually, it's relevant. But in the show, all right, I fucked it up. I can never
Oh, man.
remember the name of the show, but whatever. Anyways, he goes, "There's always money in the banana stand," and the guy actually built a banana stand to sell bananas on a boardwalk, but the walls of the banana stand were full of money from like extortion and stuff.
That's funny. Wait, what show is
What the
this?
fuck is it called?
I definitely don't know what show
It's-
you're talking
bro.
about.
Arrested Development.
Oh, okay. I've
Arrested
heard of that show.
Development. Good show.
Is
Definitely
it?
check it out. Yeah,
All right.
it was really cool. I mean, but that's it. Back to the death penalty for the most part. Shit's wild. I got actually two last minute facts if you want to hear them.
Yeah.
So, at least 483 executions in 18 countries happened in 2020. Down
How many?
483 executions in
Been-
18 countries
In 2020.
in 2020. Down
That was
by
like death
26%
penalty
from
executions?
2019. 2019 had 657 executions.
And those are like or those are like scheduled executions for like death penalty.
Yes.
Wow.
And the last one that I have here for you is at least 1,477 death sentences in 54 countries in 2020. That decreased 36% from a total of 2,307 in 2019. At least 28,567 people were known to be under the sentence of death globally at the end of 2020.
That's
So at the end of
crazy.
2020, there's still 28.5 thousand people that
I
are
mean-
waiting to be executed.
Compared to the 8 billion people on the
It's
planet,
not even 1%.
that's not that much. That's really not that much. But when you say it how you just said it, that's a big number.
Yeah.
That's still a big number to have.
28,500 people still waiting to be executed. And this is based on some of the based on the
28
countries that still allow it.
28,000 people. So that means about 25,000 of them waiting for fried chicken. And I'm not saying that to be like some
Oh.
racist dick or anything, but it's just because of the stat that you've read earlier.
Yeah.
So.
All right, cool. Well, listen, thank you all for the likes, listen, shares, and follows. We hope you appreciate our content and enjoy listening. Always a pleasure to have you.
Love everybody.
Be kind to one another. Don't end up on death row.
Yeah, for real.